And welcome to your 2052 Perfect League World Series coverage. I'm your host, DRC, and we've got a juicy matchup for you this evening. But first, how we doing, guys? I see Maxfire in the chat. Maxfire having the weekend of weekends. Look at this guy. He wins the PTMS, netting him one of one. Ozzie Smith could sell it for millions on the auction house. Doesn't need to, though. He's going to use it as a weapon of his and has already deployed it once. He has won DLL with Mega Ozzie, and he took out one heck of a team in the first round of the playoffs. One heck of a team. Yeah, it was me. I had my best week I've ever had in DLL. Ever. I've played in DLL for over a year now. I think I joined with them right around May of last year. And for the majority of the time that I'm not imperfect, I play in DLL. Now this year I have showed more cowardice than other years, but I probably logged between last year and this year a good 50, maybe 60 weeks in DLL, and none of those weeks were better than this one. I'm actually going to take a quick little stream detour here and show you guys. Whoa. Talk about a spoiler. Everyone pretend like you didn't see that. So I'm going to share a little bit about my DLL season here as we preempt the Perfect League World Series coverage. Best year I've ever had. 111 wins. Now, Maxfire didn't exactly skimp by this year, as you can see from the standings here. He was a 101-win team. But the Naperville Nomads were having one heck of a season in DLL. 111 wins. My Tris Speaker was absolutely insane. Let's check him out for a second. Look at all the red ink on this page right here. Look at all of the red ink on this page. So Tris Speaker goes 363, 438, 642 on the triple slash. His WAR is an illegal 10.6. I didn't even know WAR could go that high. 55 doubles, 29 homers, 77 stolen bases. I had him leading off every game he was playing, and he drove in 121 runs from the leadoff spot. Holy cow. Tris God. Round of applause for my Tris. Round of applause. But it was all for naught. For anyone interested, here is the final DLL tree. The funny thing about my series with Maxfire is I had home field advantage, as the 111-win team often does. I lost both of the first two games. So quickly, I incinerate that home field advantage, cede it to Maxfire, and then some. But then I was able to go to Topeka and steal two. So I'm 0-2 at home, but I'm in an even series with a winner-take-all Game 5 in Naperville, and it was not meant to be. Let's see what happened in that Game 5. I actually haven't looked yet. I've had quite the little Sunday here on my end. So I haven't seen, and it appears that what happened is that Topeka's Randy Johnson outwitted and outdueled my Sandy Koufax. Holy cow, Sandy. What are you doing with a 14 ERA in the playoffs? What is this nonsense? Look at these two playoff starts. 2 1/3, 7 earned, and then 4 2/3, 4 earned. Quick sell. Where's that button? Sell card now for 20. Nah, I guess we'll do that later. I think Dishnet was asking how Maxfire did this season. Let's take not Maxfire, but Ozzie on Maxfire's team. Let's take a quick peek-see at him. Where are you, Ozzie? Here you are. So Ozzie with a 120 OPS plus, doing it with power, believe it or not. I shouldn't say power, I should say extra base hits. So of his 12 hits, 7 of them went for extra bases, including 1 over the fence. So 548 slugging. And then defensively, let's see how much ZR he was able to stack. So in 12 games played, he was able to stack 1.8 ZR. So he might be okay. Might be. We'll just have to let Perfect League be the determinant because Ozzie Smith of the Topeka Defenders will be in Perfect League next week, barring a whale wooing Maxfire into selling it before then, which I don't anticipate happening. All right, enough about DLL. This is not the DLL World Series. This isn't the DLL retrospective. This is the Perfect League World Series, and that is what we're going to look at now. So let me get back in there, and we can set up this World Series tonight. And I do have a new toy. I accidentally spoiled it moments ago, but hopefully you all missed that. I do have a new toy that is associated with our hot seat. And that's going to make playing a little bit more fun, I hope. But let's set up this World Series first. All right, so we've got the Cartier Cutthroats going up against the Wayzata Trojans. Now, I believe the pronunciation of Wayzata is just that, Wayzata. I think that they were on an early Practice Makes Perfect League stream of mine, and I was saying Wayzata, and I was corrected. But if I am incorrect, please fill up the chat and let me know. We used to keep track of my mispronunciations. I like to believe I've evolved past that. Not really. But we shall see. Yeah, so which team should we start with tonight? Let's check out the Cutthroats first. Actually, what I'm going to do things a little bit differently tonight. Let's check out both teams side by side first. So here are the team profiles that I build from the data that I keep, the Perfect League data. We've got Cartier on the left. We've got Wayzata on the right here. And let's check them out. Wayzata, says Penguin City Pizza. Ooh, I like all the emotes in the chat. For anyone unfamiliar, any emotes you splash into the pot show up on the right side of the screen and are able to be enjoyed by all. All right, so on the left side here, we have Cartier Cutthroats, a champion, but not a champion for quite some time. So it's the 2052 World Series now. When they won was 2033, an era entirely different than now. If we were to look at that team, it would be mostly unrecognizable, I'd have to guess. You might have a Jerry Royce on that team, maybe S.E. Jackie, the first S.E. Jackie, but a long time from now. Now, they've relegated twice out of Perfect since then, 2036 and 2042. A hard luck relegation in 2042. Look at that win-loss record. 85 and 77. That is a tough luck record to be sent out of Perfect League with. Wayzata confirmed in the chat. Now back in Perfect League as of 2049, they've stitched together 4 consecutive weeks of playoff baseball, have the Cutthroats, and are now here playing for their second title. On the other side, Wayzata Trojans. They have made 2 previous efforts into Perfect League. Both of them earned relegation. We have a somewhat hard luck relegation in 2035 at 84 and 78. And then we have another relegation 11 years later in 2046, 74 and 88. Now here in 2052, in their third week in Perfect, they have their first week in the playoffs, and as luck would have it, their first week in the Perfect League World Series. So we'll see if they're able to convert their first trip here to the playoffs into a championship. Taylor Swift emotes in the chat. Loving it. Loving it, loving it. All right, let's check out the Cutthroats. So from an overall stats perspective, they're number 1 in the conference in runs scoring, 747. A good mark there. Runs allowed, 669. A nice number. Good for 11th in the conference. Run differential that is solid, but south of 100. Now, defensively, the Cutthroats really struggled this season. Only .684 with defensive efficiency. We'd like to target around .7 for that. The zone rating was positive here, but didn't really stand out well when compared to their peers. From a home road perspective, we've got a unicorn season here. Absolutely equal right down the line. 44 and 37 at home, 44 and 37 on the road. Pretty interesting splits here. So 1-run games, they were pretty much trading paint. Extra inning games, trading paint versus left versus right. There's not a lot of distinguishing features in trying to figure out what this team is good at versus what they're bad at. They're kind of just good at everything. Let's check out the ballpark. So we've got a high BABIP ballpark, not maxed, but high. We've got a minimum home run scoring environment here, and we like our extra bases, 1.2 factors on the doubles and the triples. So who is this park good for? This park is good for hitters that make contact, but don't necessarily have over-the-fence power, because the batting average is going to be juiced some, and their lack of ability to hit balls over the fence relative to their peers will not stand out quite as much. Let's go to the lineups and see what they've got cooking. So here are the two lineups here. We've got a King Kelly sighting. Look at that. King Kelly, no at-bats in the regular season, now here in the postseason. Let's see if we have any game log action. We do. So apparently King Kelly was added in advance of the semis against the Detroit Fury, and King Kelly had an okay series. I guess I might be overstating it there. 179 average, 303 OBP, less than okay. But exciting that we've got a King Kelly here in the World Series for the first time ever. In addition to King Kelly, we've got all the lefties you expect. And I think that for the foreseeable future here, we are going to see some pretty similar rosters. It's going to be a matter of how people are deploying the cards that we know they're going to have. Like, for example, do we have Tony Gwynn every day? Is Roger Connor playing versus left? What decision is made at shortstop? These are going to be the things that we're looking for, and not necessarily, does the team have Tris Speaker? Every team's going to have Tris Speaker that we see in the World Series, unless I prove to be wrong on that, which I don't know that I will. All right, from a pitching perspective, let's see how they're deployed. So we'll start with innings pitched and sort down from there. We've got Maddox, Koufax, and Randy all at 200 innings or above. Eparixi 190 here, and then Warren Spahn and Ed Walsh seemingly taking up that 5 spot in the rotation, 140 and 189 innings respectively. Back end of the bullpen, it looks like it's done by committee. Everyone with a role of middle relief here. We see a slight concentration of saves in Tom Seaver here with 10. Ed Walsh himself has 7. So perhaps a slight lean that way. Let's take a look at the path. So the Cutthroats, they won round 1 against Piscotti Doesn't Know, 3-1. Round 2 against Sparrow and his main Whiskey Tango, 4-1. Round 3 against the Detroit Fury, 4-3. So as you look at the bottom right corner of my screen here, the all-time Perfect Team 22 PEL wins leaders, they have taken out both number 1 and number 2 on their path here and sit themselves as the number 6 team all-time in regular season wins. Creeping up on number 5 there. That number 5 team better be scared, because the Cartier Cutthroats are coming, and subject to them having a better than 85 win season next week, they will move into sole possession of 5th. Eleanor Frisbee asking what the picture is in Piscotty's profile. It is Matt Damon. All right, let's check out the YZ Trojans, and we'll follow the same path. So 753 runs, that's almost a mirror image. Runs allowed here, 680, 9th best in the conference. So pretty similar run scoring and run prevention profile for both of these two teams. And honestly, not too different on the defensive side. YZ slightly better with defensive efficiency. YZ slightly worse with the zone rating. Now, from a home road perspective, we have a huge split here for YZ. A great and dominant team at home, and a team that struggles to pick up W's on the road. 55-26 at home, 38-43 on the road. Also a team that proved themselves adept in the tight games. 15-6 in extra innings, 34-18 in one-run games. Also much, much better down the stretch. So 18-10 September, 6-0 October, getting them into the playoffs. Let's check out the ballpark. So the Trojans grounds here, completely neutral in every way. 1.0 straight on down. Now we look at the build here. Let's see where we deviate. So we've got a Mike Trout in this build. We've got a Hank Aaron in this build. We've got Eddie Collins all the way down at the bottom of the versus right lineup. I find that interesting. Eddie Collins a mainstay towards the top of my versus right lineup, but certainly working for Wayzata to this point. In the VL lineup, we're going very hard with righties. So it's no secret and no surprise to anyone that the meta has shifted very strongly to left-handed pitching with all of those that we've received now recently. And Wayzata here trying to counter that by chock-fulling a lineup of very difficult right-handed batters, and it working out for them so far to this point. Let's take a look at the pitching. So the majority of innings here going to Maddox, Johnson, Koufax, all right at that 190 to 200 mark. No one really picking up a ton of innings, so Wayzata perhaps being careful and intentional about limiting the overall pitch counts here. Warren Spahn at 169, Epa Rixey 153, Clemens as the number one reliever out of the pen, 108 innings in a stopper role. Splitting that role with Tom Seaver, who was able to pick up 95 innings themselves. So clearly looking to funnel right from starter to reliever where possible. Let's look at the path. So Wayzata started against the Adobe Acrobats, a BFF team in round one, able to take that in a series that went the distance. Round two, they took on RDT and his Colorado expansions, able to prevail there in 6 games. And then the semis took 7, but they were able to dispatch the Washington Generals. Ludwig asking if both teams are lefty cheese. No, they are not. We have the Cartier Cutthroats as a neutral team, but inflated BABIP minimum home runs. We have the Wayzata Trojans here as a completely neutral build. Here is the Cartier ballpark for you one more time. They call it the Cartier Caverns. And then what was Wayzata's stadium again? Let's see. The Trojans grounds. Take note of that. All right, so let's pull some hot seat winners. So for anyone unfamiliar, the hot seat is an opportunity to win perfect points. We will draw random winners from the crowd. You know what, let me get that going and I'll explain it as we let you guys sign up for it. All right. Game 1. Game 2 winners is all we'll draw at this point in time. And we'll open that up right now. All right, so by typing exclamation point ticket in the chat, you will enter yourself. And we will draw one winner per game broadcast here in the World Series. And if you are the winner for your chosen game, for every home run hit, you will win 10,000 perfect points. There is no cap on them. The max we've had so far is 5. I'd love to break it tonight, and maybe we break it in the Wayzata Trojans ballpark. So many of our recent streams have had home run nerfed ballparks. Now we don't have that tonight with Chief Alinawek and his Wayzata Trojans, so perhaps we have an opportunity. But we need the long ball, and we need a lot of it. First time chat from Bring Into Heat. Welcome in, buddy. First time chat from TW Moobsius. If you are new to the broadcast, would love it if you drop us a follow. Click the notification so you know when we go live in the future. We do these Perfect League broadcasts every Sunday evening. And then there's some surprise streams every now and then. We did one for the Franchise Heroes 3 drop, where we went on right after Chris, talked about those cards, actually interviewed Chris Jardine on that stream as well. And who knows what the future will hold. Maybe there will be more surprise streams as well. All right, let's draw some winners. So last chance, exclamation point ticket in the chat. We will close the giveaway right now. Ooh, someone got in last second there. Maybe they're going to be our winner. So game 1 winner is Adosep. Game 2's winner is Roscoe 1978. My favorite Euro. So let's get Adosep up there in the hot seat. And I've got a little surprise for when we get our first home run this evening. Hopefully we don't have to wait too long for it. All right, we are 4 minutes away from having a sim to jump to. Now, one of the things that we do in addition to just looking at the ball games and narrating them play-by-play perspective is we look at Perfect League data. And I said it last week, and I'll say it again now. I think that the most interesting data we've had all game cycle is that which we're going to share this evening. We got a ton of new cards, a ton of new powerful cards dropped into the meta on Thursday of last week, and this was our first opportunity to get a full week's data on them to figure out who is must-have, who thrives in what circumstances, and who needs to be a part of your perfect team going forward. So we will dig into the data. We typically do so during the travel periods of the series. So in between games 2 and 3, in between games 5 and 6. So we'll get to as much of that as we can here tonight. Roscoe says he can't believe Maxfire didn't win. Yeah, me too. Me too. When he took down the all-powerful Naperville Nomads thrice inside the Thrill, which is my home ballpark, I knew that Maxfire 5 was not to be messed with this week. Not to be messed with. Perfect points going down under, says Luke 1111 as he's working on his data. Veggie 1975 asking about the bracket. Now, I did upgrade or update half of the bracket. Let me do the other half, and we'll see who's in line to win. All right, so the YZ Trojans in the World Series. We will put that in, and here's our current standings. So in first place, we have Ori Halsan with a score of 17, a potential score of 25. So they do have a winner in the fight tonight. That winner is the YZ Trojans. If the YZ Trojans are able to win, no one can top Ori Halsan. We have T-Rex Versus in second place with 16, but does not have a dog in the fight tonight. We have Soxfan 031966 with 14 in third place without a dog in the fight tonight as well. We do have people with the winner in play tonight. Uncle Harris, Veggie 1975, Fred the Baker. Let's see who has who. So Uncle Harris has the Cutthroats. Fred the Baker has the Cutthroats. And Veggie 1975 has YZ Trojans. So that's going to be how it's going to play out. If it's the YZ Trojans, we will have Ori Halsan first. We'll have Veggie 1975 second. If it goes the other way, if the Cartier Cutthroats win, then we will have Uncle Harris first or second, and then Fred the Baker first or second, with that win being determined by the tiebreaker. Fred the Baker with a tiebreaker of 9, Uncle Harris with a tiebreaker of 7. Whoever is closer will win that one. All right, 1 minute to the sim. Let's get to our matchup analyzer and be ready. Get some fireworks going, make sure we've got them loaded. You know, one thing that I'll share before we get started here is a phenomena that we saw this week that we haven't seen yet in this game cycle, and that has to do with pitcher handedness. So let me resize this so you guys can actually see it. But for the first time this season, we have a wild majority of games being started by lefties, and then even more so than that, the first time ever that we actually have a majority of innings pitched by lefties. So the short side platoon has officially swapped. The short side platoon is technically the versus right lineup, as lefties are starting more frequently, and lefties are actually gobbling up a majority of the innings in Perfect League. Can't say it's a surprise when we look at both the hitters that we got as well as the pitchers. Like, from a stat perspective, the Roger Clemens card, not that different than Eparixi, not that different, but not going to be able to perform that well because of the power of the lefty hitters that we have. So with all of these lefties being in a lot of same side lineups, You have to throw lefty pitchers at them, or else you're putting yourself in a really tough spot. Ada Sepp talking about Roger Connor. I think Roger Connor's really interesting. So Roger Connor, a switch hitter. And if the majority of innings and starts go to left-handed pitching, it really takes a bite out of what Roger Connor's going to give you. It's either going to keep him out of the lineup more frequently, or it's going to limit his overall impact for you. Neither of those being a good thing for you. Veggie 1975 filled out the bracket with 2 minutes to go. Does better with a speed bracket. Yeah, Dish asking about drops. I don't see drops working on my end. Not sure what the issue could be. We do have the game type as Out of the Park Baseball 22. So I'm not sure what the issue is. All right, we have got the game underway. Let's get our matchup analyzer at the ready here. For anyone curious, this matchup analyzer you see in the bottom right corner of your screen is observed statistics. Now, typically what I put in this observed statistics is the trailing 3 weeks. Now, this week I've chosen to make an editorial decision just to do the past 2 weeks. I feel like everything changed in the middle part of last week. And so I don't even want to think about data from 3 weeks ago because it's entirely irrelevant at this point. All right, so we'll get started here. The Wayzata Trojans throw out Randy Johnson to start this series off. He'll face Paul Hines to get things started here tonight. We've got Ada Sepp in our hot seat. Any home runs equal 10,000 perfect points. Let's hope for a boatload of them. 0-2 count. Wind and the pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike three. And the 2052 Perfect League World Series underway here. Randy Johnson getting Hines on the strikeout for out number 1 of the series. We go top 2. Another highlight here for the Cutthroats. It'll be Mike Trout leading off the second inning. Full count. Johnson winds and delivers, and this ball hit well. Deep to right field. Back, and this ball is out of here. 10,000 perfect points to Ada Sepp. And a 1-0 lead here for the Cartier Cutthroats on an absolute beautiful Oppo Taco for Mike Trout. And I hope you guys enjoyed our new animation. I'll give it to you one more time in case you missed it. Courtesy of the ever so talented Swecky Ox. 1-0 Cutthroats. We go top 2 still. Still same inning. And Randy Johnson faces George Brett here with 2 outs. Gwynn in scoring position. The pitch. And this ball belted deep to right field. Clemente back. Clemente will watch it fly. That's the second home run of this inning. 20,000 perfect points now to Ada Sepp and a 3-0 lead to the Cutthroats. We go bottom 4. Time for the Trojans to get back into this ballgame. They trail by 3, but have their leadoff man aboard in Willie Mays. Nap Lajoie steps in. 3-0 count on him. The pitch from Koufax swinging away. Could be 2 to second 1 to first double play. A questionable decision to be green-lighting the 3-0 pitch there for Lajoie. And he lines into a 5-4-3 double play. Started at the hot corner by Fire George Brett. We go top 8. Big time fast-forward time warp in this one. And the Cutthroats looking to add some insurance runs to their 3-0 lead. They have Mike Trout in the box as the Wayzata Trojans have one of their stoppers, Roger Clemens, in this ballgame. Wind and the pitch. Line drive left field. That ball's going to go to the wall. It'll be extra bases for Trout. He rounds first, heads on into second. The throw will be late. It's a slide-in double for Trout, and an opportunity here in the 8th for the Cutthroats to pad that 3-run lead. Pad the lead they do. The Cutthroats do add one. They are now leading 4-0 as we go to the bottom half. The Wayzata Trojans, quiet for the majority of this game, have an opportunity here in the 8th. They've got 2 aboard, 1 away, as Hammer and Hank Aaron steps into the batter's box against Corbin Burns. Let's use our matchup analyzer, which has been sitting here collecting dust the majority of this game. So we'll look at this split of Corbin Burns versus Wright, and then we'll contrast that versus Hank Aaron versus Wright as well. So advantage to Corbin Burns on this one. As you can see from the stats, Corbin Burns favorable to league average in every of the 5 statistics we show here, whereas Hank Aaron a below league average bat versus right-hand pitching. 0-2 count here. The pitch. This ball hit well. Deep left field. Back of the track. Back of the wall. That ball's out of here. Hank Aaron. Touch 'em all. Dragging the Wayzata Trojans back into this one with a 3-run home run here in the 8th. An absolute bomb from Hammer and Hank. 30,000 perfect points now for Adasep, and we are still going. The Wayzata Trojans with 5 outs left to find another run. Maybe they do it right here and now as Ted Williams steps in versus Tom Seaver. Let's set this one up as well. Ted Williams versus right-handed pitching. Let's go Tom Seaver versus left-handed batting. Advantage to the hitter on this one. Ted Williams a 12.49 batting runs per 600 plate appearances versus Wright, whereas Tom Seaver worse than league average in every category, and perhaps most importantly, that home run per 9. If you're a Wayzata Trojan fan, you're rooting for the long ball right here and right now. 0-2 count. Seaver winds. Delivers. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Seaver goes to the sinker and straight up overpowers Ted Williams. Gets a big strikeout here in the bottom half of the 8th. But not before the Wayzata Trojans do collect 3 runs. We will head to the 9th inning in Game 1 of the 2052 Perfect League World Series with the Cutthroats 4 and the Wayzata Trojans 3. And we've got the ever-popular Ted Stinks movement in the chat here. A hot topic of debate on the Out of the Park Discord, with those rallying against and for Ted. And we have C. Whitman jumping in to defend Ted's honor as we speak. The battleground continues and moves from the Out of the Park Discord to the DRC Twitch channel. Keep it civil. Bottom of the 9th now, so the Cutthroats unable to add to their lead in the top half. They now have to protect a 1-run lead in the bottom half. Starting off the inning will be a softer matchup here. Ivan Rodriguez versus Seaver. Good matchup for Seaver to come out of this one with the first out of this inning. 0-2 count. Wind and the pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Tom Seaver goes to the off speed here. And not what Ivan Rodriguez was expecting. He saw Seaver go heater versus Ted to end the 8th. Was looking like he was geared up for something like that. Well ahead of this 80-mile-an-hour changeup. Now the first out of this 9th inning captured by the Cutthroats. 1 away now as Arky Vaughn steps in. Full count on him. Seaver rocks and fires. And that is outside. Seaver unable to get the call on the outside corner. And that'll be a 6-pitch walk here for Arky Vaughn, representing the ever-critical tying run here in the home half of the 9th. Up next, Eddie Collins. Now, we called out how Eddie Collins was batting down in the order And that being somewhat surprising, perhaps that's going to pay dividends right here. 0-1 count on Eddie. The pitch. Floated out to left field. Going to be a tough play, but making the grab is Mike Trout. Got a great jump on this one. It was a little flare off the end of the bat from Collins. Trout saw it right away. A very quick first step. Makes a 3-star catch and makes it look easy for the second out here in this 9th inning. The Wayzata Trojans now down to their last out, and that's going to be represented by Jackie Robinson versus Tom Seaver. Let's get the matchup analyzer here to tell us what to expect. Jackie Robinson versus left. Tommy Seaver versus right. Advantage to the pitcher on this one, and he's got Robinson down on the count 0-2. Fans here in Wayzata on their feet, hoping for a miracle comeback. The pitch. Little floater right field. Shifting over is Gwynn. He's camped under it. He makes the grab. And with that, the Cartier Cutthroats win Game 1 by a final score of 4-3. In so doing, they take home field advantage, and they take a big opportunity into Game 2. Some road fireworks for the Cutthroats. Let's do some quick accounting here. 3 home runs confirmed for Adosep. And now, Adosep, if you're listening right now, to redeem your winnings, your 30,000 perfect points earned by the hot seat, I do need you to reach out to me with your perfect team username with the appropriate capitalization. That will allow me to get these points over to you. If it's the same as your Twitch name, all the better. And that's what I'll put down as a placeholder now until you tell me otherwise. But 30,000 perfect points going to our Game 1 hot seat winner, Adosep. Oh, Gorgo is ready. Here a little late, but dinner's down the hatch. Trash is put out. Stuff's cleaned up. Ready to relax for the evening. Let's go! I love the energy there. You know, I'm glad to know that Gorgo and I share a trash day, because the first thing I do when I'm off stream on Sunday nights is I go and I do the trash. And sometimes it's more enjoyable than others. I'll say that I rage take out the trash after I'm done broadcasting a 2.5-hour failure of the Nomads to secure a World Series win. But typically it's done in love. It's a task done in love. Kyle J. Weinmeier, trash day Monday as well. Uh-oh. Trash man on strike for Luke 1111. Holy cow, everyone's got Trash Monday. Look at that. All right, 1 minute to our Game 2 sim here tonight. Cartier Cutthroats now winning 1-0 in the series. Let's update our overlay so that that is reflected. I think we're going to go Cartier tonight. We're not going to write Cutthroats. We're going to write Cartier. There we go. 1-0 series lead. Dogberry says, when you live in an apartment, every day is trash day. All right, let's load up our Game 2 sim. We also need to put our new hot seat winner in there, Roscoe 1978. Looks like the sim not quite ready yet. Let's see what else is going on in the chat. We've got Hitman saying his trash day is Tuesday and Friday. Holy cow, Hitman. How much trash are you producing? A double trash day? Incredible. If I had 2 trash days, maybe my trash wouldn't go out and be brimming out at the top of it. Hero Driver used to be on that Tuesday, Friday. Chess Safari checking in. What's going on, Chess? Hitman attributing the high New Jersey taxes to the double trash day. All right, let's see if our sim is ready for us now. Ooh, sim is angry. The sim is saying, nope. not ready for you. Even though we're a minute past. Should be good. Here we go. You know, one of these days I plan to be in Perfect League again. We'll see when that is. Josh 127 saying, what's the hot seat surprise? I heard there's a surprise. I just teased it right there. We got a new animation. Every time a hot seat winner wins perfect points, you see a little graphic come up, and you hear a little sound effect to denote that for you. But let's get game 2 underway, as we've got Warren Spawn on the hill for the Wayzata Trojans, facing that same lineup we saw in game 1 for the Cartier Cutthroats. He'll start off this game with an 0-2 count on Paul Hines. Paul Hines able to go down on strikes to start off game 1. We'll see if he has a better start here to game 2 as I update Roscoe into our hot seat. Wind and the pitch. Ground ball on over to third. Going to be a tough play. Robinson has it, throws it across, 1 up and 1 down. And game 2 is underway. We go bottom 3, and an opportunity for the Wayzata Trojans to strike first in this one. They've got Lou Boudreau, who's seen his auction house value nearly double over the past couple of weeks. On first base as Eddie Collins steps in to take his hacks. 2-1 count on Eddie. The pitch. This one floated out to right center. That could split the gap, and it will. Lou Boudreau, a slow runner, off to the races. On his way to third. Will they hold him there? Yes, they will. That's a double for Eddie Collins. Runners will now be at second and third as the lineup card flips over, and new Jackie Robinson steps up. Big opportunity for the Trojans here early in game 2. 1-2 count on Jackie. Fans on their feet, the pitch. This one floated out to center field and down. Boudreau scores. Around third is Collins. He'll try to score. The play at the plate. In time. In time. Tris Speaker comes up throwing. Throws a strike to Ivan Rodriguez. And Rodriguez is waiting there for Eddie Collins to slide right into the tag. An RBI single for Jackie. 1 run does score, but Eddie Collins makes out number 2 at home plate. Running in Molasses Collins, as Hero Driver 68 accurately noting in the chat. That will spell the end of the Wayzata rally in the 4th. We now go to the top of the 5th, and the Cutthroats will look to get to work. We have Warren Spawn on the mound and Nap Lajoie at the plate. Now, we haven't seen a ton of Nap, and frankly, Nap's data was one of the ones that I was more interested to see this week. So let's take a peek at how he's doing versus left. And the answer is not good, guys. Not very good at all. So here's Warren Spawn versus right. Here's Nap Lajoie versus left. If anyone remembers PT21, Nap Lajoie was an impact bat versus left, and frankly could hit pretty well versus right. So far in 6,000 plate appearances, Nap Lajoie not getting it done versus left. A low average, low OBP, low slugging, killer trifecta there for a below league average versus left bat. As we've got Newt God subscribing in the chat. That is now 7 consecutive months of support from Newt God. Really appreciate it, man. People like you make this thing tick. So thank you very much. Full count here for Nap Lajoie. The pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Warren Spawn goes to the screwball. The Scroogey. 67 miles an hour. Good enough for deception of Lajoie. And the first out in this 5th inning. As Tycho Lure subscribing as well. 2 months in a row there, 5 months total. Thank you very much. Now 1 away for George Brett. 1-1 count on him, the pitch. This one is laced into the right center field gap. Roberto Clemente gives chase, tracks it down, throw to second. Not going to be in time. Scoring on the play is Trout all the way from first. And we now have a tie ball game. Next up, Tony Gwynn. The pitch. Line drive, base hit right field. George Brett on his horse. Around third. He's going to try to score. The throw from Clemente. Play at the plate. Safe! George Brett able to slide around the Pudge tag. And that's the second run in this game. The Cartier Cutthroats have taken the lead. With that, we fast forward to the bottom half. Now we have Nap Lajoie batting against Greg Maddux. Wind and the pitch. Lajoie floats it out to short, and that's going to get down. A little Babbitt monster single for Nap Lajoie, biting Greg Maddux here to lead off the fifth inning. Next up, Pudge Rodriguez, an extremely tired Pudge Rodriguez, as you can tell from his stamina bar in the Wayzata lineup card. 1-2 count on him, the pitch. Ground ball to short, could be two. To second, one. On to first, not in time. Pudge able to beat out the play. It's going to prevent the double play, but now a tired Pudge has to run the bases. One away. Now two away. Pudge out at second base as Eddie Collins steps in. We've got Maddux versus Collins here. Let's set up the matchup with our matchup analyzer. Greg Maddux versus left. How about fast Eddie versus right? So Eddie Collins, I got to be honest, this versus right split is less than what I would have expected. He's got a very nearly perfect profile with high contact, high gap, high eye, high avoid, low power, but we don't really mind that because of the Babbitt boost we get with it. But only 5.3 R positive bat R. A little surprising here for Eddie Collins. Strongest attribute being that OBP. Now full count here in this spot. The pitch. Swings at it, floats one out to short. Boudreau backs up a little bit and drops the ball. Boudreau backs up, can't find it. An odd and embarrassing error there for Lou Boudreau on a can of corn. Little floater off the bat of Eddie Collins. This fifth inning will continue. Ivan Rodriguez not hustling on the play. This ball was in the sky for a good 6-7 seconds, and Pudge clearly and lackadaisically not hustling on the play, expecting it to be caught. It is not caught, and Pudge unable to score on it. The lineup card does flip over. The inning does continue, but Wayzata will still need a base hit here to score in the fifth, and they do not get it. You do not get it. So we go to the bottom of the seventh. Still in the game here for the Cutthroats is Maddux. He's pitching to Nap Lajoie. Now we saw Nap versus left. It wasn't pretty. I have to imagine versus right, it's not going to be much better. And in fact, it is worse, down at negative 7.11 bat R. As this advantage here, this opportunity matchup really does favor the pitcher. 2-0 count on it. The pitch. Lajoie floats it out to right. Should be playable here for Gwynn. Takes a couple steps in, makes the grab, and that's going to do it for the Trojans in the bottom half of the seventh. As we head to the eighth inning, the Cartier Cutthroats already nursing a 1-0 series lead, are protecting a 1-run lead in what would be a 2-0 start to this one. We go bottom eight as the Cutthroats unable to score in the top half, and Pudge will lead this one off versus Maddux. 1-2 count. Roscoe, 1978, still looking for that first home run. The pitch is not going to find it here, but Pudge does find pasture out in center field. A leadoff single there for Pudge Rodriguez. Next up, Lou Boudreau. Now, I talked about how Lou Boudreau's market value has jumped in recent weeks. Let's see how much the bat is supporting that jump. So versus left, Boudreau at a solid 6.65. Versus right, we see -7. Versus right is what's in play here tonight. 1-1 count here, the pitch. It's a bunt. Boudreau gets down the bunt. Throw on over to first in time, but he does do the job of the sacrifice bunt as he advances Pudge Rodriguez up to second base. Now, with that run being so critical, will the Trojans sub out a tired Pudge Rodriguez It appears that they will not. 1-2 count on Eddie Collins here with one away. The pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike three. Greg Maddux, not known for his swing and miss stuff, taps into it here in this plate appearance. A beautiful diving sinker in this 1-2 count that Eddie Collins, despite his strong contact profile, not able to foul this one off. The at-bat ends. And that's the second out of the inning. Next up, Ted Williams. Ted Williams, a hot subject of debate in the chat, in the Discord. Perhaps he can settle some of it right here. The Wayzata Trojans need a hit here. They are running out of outs. They've got 4 outs left to score 1 run. They do have a runner in scoring position and a power-hitting Ted Williams up at the plate. You see from the matchup analyzer that Ted Williams is hitting for a lot of power. 452 slugging percentage, his strongest attribute, a 12.49 positive bat R versus right-handed pitching, and that's the type of matchup he has here tonight. The pitch. Line drive up the middle. Caught by Lou Boudreau. That will end the inning, end the threat, and push us to the 9th inning. Cutthroats 2, Trojans 1. Bottom 9 now. Cutthroats unable to add to their lead, and wouldn't you know it, the Trojans put their leadoff man aboard. Mike Trout has worked his way on as Greg Maddux going to try to finish this one himself. He'll face Roberto Clemente as the second hitter in this inning. We'll take a look at Clemente's numbers versus right-hand pitching. A .250 hitter, but low OBP, low slug as well. He's got a 2-0 advantage in the count, looking to get a cookie here from Maddux on this one and do some damage to it. The pitch. Line drive up the middle, a base hit. Mike Trout around second, he'll stop there. Wayzata Trojans cooking with gas here in the 9th. How much longer will the Cutthroats stick with Maddux as the leverage index on this one going through the roof? And look at this. Willie Mays works a 4-pitch walk to load him up, and we are now tied in this one. Mike Trout has scored. Hank Aaron is aboard, and now the Wayzata Trojans are Roberto Clemente 90 feet away from walking this game off. Fans on their feet. Tris Speaker in the batter's box. If there's one guy you want up in this spot, it's Tris Speaker. We've had a pitching change for the Cartier Cutthroats as they go to Roger Clemens. And they need a strikeout, and they need a strikeout bad right here. Advantage in this one definitely to Tris Speaker. In defense, the Cartier Cutthroats are pulling the infield in. They're also overshifting it to the right side. We have Lou Boudreau playing on the right side of second base. Nap Lajoie playing right between first and second. And noted first baseman Paul Hines playing even with the bag. Big moment in this game. Fans on their feet looking for a little fireworks. The pitch. Ground ball to third. The plate, out. The throw to first in time. An unbelievable defensive play from George Brett to Pudge Rodriguez to Paul Hines, erasing 2 outs here for the Trojans and keeping this game alive. Now 2 away. Runners at second and third for Pudge Rodriguez. The Cartier Cutthroats might escape this one yet. Let's pull up the matchup here for Ivan Rodriguez versus right. Roger Clemens versus right. Advantage to the pitcher. 1-2 count. Wayzata Trojans fans rooting for a pass ball, a wild pitch, an infield single. Anything will get the job done here. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Roger Clemens reaches back for gas and finds what he needs to get Pudge Rodriguez to swing through it. 98 miles an hour at the top of the zone. That'll be the third out of this inning. And that means free baseball here in World Series game number 2. And that's what Roscoe 1978 needs, because he's sitting here 54 outs into this one with 0 home runs to look at. We go top 10. And we've got Tom Seaver on the mound. He'll face an unwelcome guest here for his first batter. It's Roger Connor. As you can see, he's pinch hitting in the Cartier lineup card. But it's not any Roger Connor. Why, no. It is Fire Roger Connor. And he's got bad ideas for what he wants to do to this pitch here. 1-2 count. Fans on their feet. The pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Tommy Seaver reaching back for a little extra on this one. Able to elevate in zone. And Connor, despite his fire emote status, unable to catch up to this one. 1 out. Next batter, Tony Gwynn. Seaver rocks and fires. And Gwynn laces one to left field. That will be a base hit. Trout fields it on a hop, throws it in. 1 out, man aboard. Next up, Pudge Rodriguez, 1-2 count on him. The pitch. Strike 3 called. 95 miles an hour on the black. Seaver gets the call, and that's the second out of this inning. Now 2 away for Paul Hines. 0-1 count on him, the pitch. Hines floats one, should be playable. Out goes Collins, he makes the grab. That will end the inning. That will strand Tony Gwynn at first. And now the Wayzata Trojans have 3 outs to walk this one off in the bottom half of the 10th. Starting off that effort is Lou Boudreau. He'll bat here with a full count versus Roger Clemens. Wind and the pitch. Ball 4. Misses with the heater up and in. Boudreau just dives out of the way of that one to avoid getting hit. It's a leadoff walk for him. Now Lou Boudreau, a very poor and slow base runner. Let's see if Wayzata reaches into their bench to find someone to run the bases for old Shufflefoot. They do not. Shufflefoot will run for himself as Eddie Collins steps in. The pitch. A bunt. Collins gets the bunt down. They do retire him at first. The sack bunt is successful. Now, Eddie Collins, you would much prefer to have on the bases to Lou Boudreau. I don't know that I love this play here. Because if Eddie Collins hits any kind of ground ball, you're not going to get 2 on him. What you're going to do is you're going to erase Boudreau from second, and Collins is just going to steal his way there. And if you let him swing away, he's got every opportunity to dunk a single in there, a double, triple, win the game. But Eddie Collins gives himself up. That's 1 out here in the inning, and we'll turn over the lineup card to George Brett. The pitch. Line drive. Base hit left field. Boudreau around third. He's going to hold there. He's going to hold at third. George Brett takes a big turn at first. Will return to the bag. Lou Boudreau holding at third. Representing the winning run here. With 1 away in the 10th. Up comes Mike Trout. Let's get our matchup analyzer right for this one. Mike Trout versus Wright is almost dead on a league average hitter. He gets to those numbers with a high OBP, low slug batting profile, 712 OPS. Tough guy to double up. Defensively, we have the Cutthroats playing corners in. Arky Vaughn and Nap Lajoie looking to turn 2 up the middle. George Brett and Paul Hines looking to get Boudreau at home. The pitch. Ground ball up the middle. It's going to be tough to turn 2. Throw home! What's the call? What's the call? He's out! He's out! He's out at home! What a play by Arky Vaughn. Fields the ground ball, was not in. They were not playing infield in. But Arky Vaughn fielded it. He knew he did not have a chance to turn 2, which means his only chance was to come firing home and try to get Lou Boudreau at the plate. He was successful in doing so. A very close play at the plate, a delayed call from the umpire, but he does end up raising the right arm, signaling that Boudreau is out. They are looking at this one on video, and the call is confirmed out at the plate for Lou Boudreau. Unbelievable play by Arky Vaughan. You very rarely see a position player with that kind of on-the-fly awareness, playing deep, playing for two, knew that Mike Trout would got out of the box there and was going to be able to beat out two, so he had to come home, gets it done, and keeps this game going. The Wayzata Trojans have been flirting with walking this one off now for every bit of the ninth and every bit of the 10th and haven't been able to close the deal yet. But now they've got 2 on, 2 out for Roberto Clemente. 1-0 count. The pitch. Ground ball to second. This should end the inning. Fielding it is Nap Lajoie. He'll throw it on over to Paul Hines, and that's going to do it. The Trojans strand 2 in this one, and some questions can be asked about the base running there. We give up Eddie Collins as a sacrifice. On a sacrifice bunt, we don't pinch run for Lou Boudreau, and Boudreau's wheels end up being the reason that they were not able to score on Mike Trout's ground out fielder's choice to the shortstop position. This game will continue into the 11th. Roscoe, 1978, still looking for that first dinger. And maybe he gets it here with King Kelly. King Kelly's first highlight ever in a Perfect League World Series game. He'll face Tom Seaver. Full count on him. Wind and the pitch. Ball 4. A leadoff walk for King Kelly. A dangerous base runner, one that can steal and steal with reckless abandon while still maintaining efficiency. Let's see if the Cutthroats set him free here or if they let Speaker, Trout, and Lajoie bat for themselves first. So 3 pitches into this at-bat. Tris Speaker still in the batter's box. King Kelly still on first, so not sending him quite yet. 1-2 count to Speaker. The wind and the pitch. Fly ball right field. Making the grab is Clemente. It's one away. A well-struck ball, but right at Roberto Clemente. He took 3 steps to his left, made the grab, fired it in. King Kelly hurried back to the base to think of maybe tagging on the play, but that one didn't quite have the depth or the hang time to make that a reality. One away now here in the top half of the 11th. King Kelly stolen second base now. So King Kelly, a dangerous base runner, exhibiting that here. He's now in scoring position, and the double play is no more as Mike Trout steps in. 1-1 count on him. Seaver set. Delivers, and this ball hit well. Deep to left field. Mike Trout will watch it fly. A 2-run homer in the top half of the 11th for Mike Trout. Taking Tom Seaver deep. This one on a sinker that caught a little bit too much zone. Ideally, if you're Seaver, you put this one right at the bottom half of the zone, right on the corner there, or even outside the zone. This one catching more than he intended, and Trout did the rest of the work, sending this one 342 happy feet for the Cutthroats out into the left field evening. It is now 4-2 Cartier. We go bottom 11. The Trojans got their work cut out for them now. They've got to come back and score 2. And it's going to be Hank Aaron, Willie Mays, Johnny Bench to face a right-handed Roger Clemens. Uphill odds to say the least. Full count here on Aaron to lead off the inning. Wind and the pitch. Swinging away on a full count pitch. This one hit well, but playable to right field. There to grab it is Tony Gwynn, and that's one away. Now 2 outs for Johnny Bench. I don't think we have much Johnny Bench data, but let's see. Let's see what we can expect from Johnny Bench versus right-hand pitching. There we go. 318 plate appearances of garbage. 204, 245, 391. Now the slugging being his best attribute here when you really need OBP more than anything else. 0-2 count. Gibson into this game. Wind. The pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3. And the Cartier Cutthroats have won game 2 by a final score of 4-2. Now taking a 2-0 series lead will give them their road fireworks that they've worked so hard for. And they do their famous interpretive dance out in front of home plate, with Mike Trout as the ringleader, earning it as he hit the game-deciding 2-run homer in the top half of the 11th. So 10,000 perfect points going to Roscoe, 1978. As Cartier comes into Wyzetta, wins both of the games here, despite the Trojans having bases loaded, nobody out in the 9th, and then first and third, 1 out in the 10th, unable to find a run in either of those circumstances, and now having to dig out of an 0-2 hole, heading to Cartier. As we look at the box score, we see Wyzetta's Warren Spahn with a great outing here. Turned it over to Tom Seaver, who wasn't bad in relief, just victimized by that Mike Trout home run late in this game as he was up above 50 pitches. On the other side, we had Cartier go Spahn opener to Greg Maddux, and Maddux went 7 innings pitched here, 99 pitches, before handing it over to Roger Clemens and Bob Gibson. So let me make note of the 10,000 perfect points for Roscoe. Roscoe, send me a DM just to remind me what your out of the park spelling is on your name, and we'll get you those perfect points as soon as we can. Speaking of perfect points, it's time to draw some hot seat winners for game 3, 4, and 5. Now, game 5 is not promised to anyone, given that we're going into this trio of games with a 2-0 series lead. But in the event that we play one, we will have a winner selected for it. There we go. So exclamation point ticket in the chat will get you into the drawing. If you missed our earlier drawing, these drawings are for the hot seat. And when you're in the hot seat for any home runs hit during that game, you win perfect points. So we zoom out here and we can see the 2-0 series advantage as we shift to Cartier's High BABIP ballpark. Both teams showing Epa Rixey as the probable starter. For anyone new wondering what the team names scrolling at the bottom of the screen are for, those are the relegation Puma victims for the week. So in Perfect League, if you do not make the playoffs, you do not remain in Perfect League. Instead, you are eaten by the Puma, and that Puma sends you on a one-way ticket to Diamond. And if you want to play in Perfect League again, you need to win a Diamond League, as only the World Series winner in Diamond gets to promote up to Perfect. Again, for anyone new, if you could drop us a follow, we are getting dangerously close to a milestone on the followers. We're at 834 now. I'd love to see us at 1,000. That'd be pretty cool to have 1,000 different people getting a notification every time we go live with one of these World Series. So if you're not a follower yet, smash that button, hit the notification icon so you know when we go live. And we typically do have drops. I'm not sure what's going on today. On my end, nothing is different than normal. So I had every expectation that we would have drops. So not quite sure what's going on there. But in all likelihood, a Twitch thing that'll resolve itself once they take a peek at it. All right, let's draw some winners. Game 3's hot seat goes to Ori Halson, 78. Game 4's hot seat goes to Veggie, 1975, who is in line for some perfect points in the bracket challenge. And Game 5's hot seat goes to Slippy Foots. So Slippy Foots has to hope that the Wayzata Trojans are able to steal at least one of Game 3 or 4 to extend this series to a Game 5. Let's go ahead and get Ori Halson into the seat. There we go. And we'll close down the giveaway. Now, don't go away. If this series gets even more interesting and we head back to Wayzata, Game 6 and 7 will have hot seat winners as well. So congrats to our winners. Yeah, this stream is on a little earlier than expected, given that we had daylight savings time. So the entire playoff tree got started an hour earlier. So the stream getting started an hour earlier. Maybe that's messing with our drops. Who knows? I think that we're ready for another sim. Let's go grab it. So I should know this. Off the top of my head, I don't. How many two-time winners of Perfect League do we have? We've got Doc. Do the Everett Aqua Sox have 2? You know, I go 2 weeks out of Perfect League, and all of a sudden I lose my mind. But that is what the Cartier Cutthroats are playing for here tonight. Playing to become one of the few that have multiple Perfect League victories. Whoa. Trigger finger on the hot seat animation. Maybe that's a sign of what's to come. Oh, Diamond City Taurus, says Gorgo. You're absolutely right. Diamond City Taurus victimizing both me and API. Definitely a two-time winner. All right, let's get started. Ori Halson in the hot seat. We are in Cartier Cutthroats Ballpark. The Cartier Cutthroats Ballpark is a high BABIP ballpark. Contact is rewarded. Batting averages are floated. And in addition to that, extra base hits are floated as well. Doubles and triples happening at a rate 20% higher than a neutral ballpark. The trade-off being home runs. Home runs are nerfed down to the minimum allowed at 0.9. So how many long balls will we see in this one? How many long balls will we see in this one? Randy Johnson for the Cutthroats will get us started versus Jackie Robinson. Wind and the pitch. Floated out to right field. That's going to be a base hit to lead off this game. Jackie Robinson starting us off with a single. Nothing doing the rest of the first, and we actually time warp all the way to the bottom of the 5th. And here the Cartier Cutthroats will send up Paul Hines playing first base versus Epa Rixey. Wind and a pitch. This ball belted deep to left center into the bullpen. An absolute bomb off the bat of Paul Hines has untied this one and given the 2-0 series leader a 1-0 game advantage here in the bottom half of the 5th. .394 feet as the crow flies. This one was an Epa Rixey changeup that fooled no one. Hines sitting on it, getting it, and absolutely bombing it out to the bullpen out in left center. We stay in the bottom of the 5th. Epa Rixey really having to work to get out of this one. Let's set up our matchup analyzer to see what we're looking at here tonight. Epa Rixey versus left-handed batting, and then one of our very new cards, George Brett, has a very pretty profile. We see his versus left, not so pretty, at negative 6.67 bat R, a 237, 307, 376 triple slash. But he does have an advantage in the count here, 3-1. Let's see if he's looking dead red and gets a heater here, 3-1 count. The pitch. Ball 4. He does get the heater. This one misses low and in. George Brett takes ball 4. Will head on down to first base. They are now loaded for Lou Boudreau. A tough spot for Eparixi here. We looked at him earlier, but Lou Boudreau does his best work versus left-hand pitching. 275, 341, 410 triple slash for Lou, as he's logged a 6.65 batting runs per 600, above league average. Here to set up this pitch, we've got a full count. We've got 2 outs. Trout, Speaker, and Brett on the bases will all be in motion on this one, as the Cartier Cutthroats have a huge opportunity to blow this game wide open. Rixey comes set. Delivers. Swing and floated out to left center. Going to be a tough play, but Trout coming in, and he makes the grab. Eparixi able to avoid further damage. Strands the bases loaded here on the Boudreau fly out to Mike Trout in left field. We'll head to the 6th inning. Cutthroats 1, YZ Trojans 0. We go top 6. YZ Trojans looking to even up this one. Randy Johnson will be pitching to Eddie Collins, batting in that 9-hole. 0-2 count on him. Wide and the pitch. This one crushed down the right field line. That's going to go all the way to the wall, and fast Eddie Collins is out of the box hustling. He'll get to second with a stand-up double, and will now represent the tying run in this inning, in scoring position to lead it off. Still top 6, now 1 away, and Mike Trout steps in. The pitch. Ground ball to short, playable. He's got it. Throw on over to first in time. That'll be the 2nd out of the inning. Frozen on the play as Eddie Collins will have to return to second. And just like that, there are 2 out, and Eddie Collins has been unable to get off of that second base bag. YZ Trojans do not score in the inning. We go top 7. Randy now pitching to Hank Aaron, the DH for the Trojans. 2-2 count. The pitch. And this one is crushed down the right field line. Will it stay fair? It will. That's extra bases for Hammer and Hank. Around first on his way to second. He's going to stop there. No! He runs through the stop sign. He's trying to go to the throw. Not in time. A leadoff triple for aggressive base running Hank Aaron. Slides in ahead of the tag. And a huge shot in the arm for the YZ Trojans, who are trailing in this game and trailing in the series. Now the infield forced to be drawn in here as Willie Mays steps in versus Roger Clemens. 1-1 count. The pitch to Mays. Fly ball right field playable. Is it deep enough to score the run? Clemente's got it. He makes the grab. The throw to the plate. Here comes Aaron. There's going to be a play. He is safe. 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 Hank Aaron slides in ahead of the tag. Gets home plate before Pudge applies. And that's going to tie this game up with 1 out here in the 7th. We go bottom 8. The Cutthroats looking to get that run back. Put themselves back in the catbird seat in this game. They've got their best hitter, Tris Speaker, stepping in here with nobody out and nobody on. Full count. Rocket winds and delivers, and that's going to be low. A leadoff walk for Speaker as Clemens misses low on this one. On the 6th pitch of this at-bat, Speaker battled, able to earn himself a free pass. Now, George Brett steps in. 2-1 count on him, the pitch. This one floated to right field. Going to be a tough play, but shifting over and making the grab is Clemente. That's 1 out in the inning. Retreating to first is Speaker. Now, Speaker, a great base runner. Will we see him in motion in this sequence here now? Lou Boudreau stepping in. Now, wait a minute. That's Roger Connor's music. And Connor steps in to the delight of the Cartier home fans and will take this plate appearance for Lou Boudreau. So we go from Lou to Roger Connor. Roger Connor versus Wright. Let's get Roger Clemens as we've got a classic Roger v. Roger at bat here. And do note, this is not any Roger Clemens. No, this is fire. Roger Connor. And he steps in. He's down on the count 0-1. He is a dangerous, dangerous hitter versus right-hand pitching. And that's exactly what the Cutthroats are looking for here. Late in Game 3, the pitch. Ground ball up the middle. Could be 2 to second, 1 to first. A double play. Roger Connor in pinch hit duty hits into the 4-6-3 that ends the inning. Dishnet asking what Roger Connor's wrestling entrance music would be. Oh, that's a good question. I think it might be similar to Ultimate Warrior's music. Just the drums. What is it? It's not the snare. You guys know what I'm talking about. Whatever that drum is that makes that high tss, 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 tss noise. That's what I would play. Romana Day saying he was indeed dangerous. To that rally, at least. Josh 127, very anticlimactic. All right, we go top 9. Still tied in this one. We had extra innings in Game 2. Are we headed for that same fate in Game 3? Corbin Burns looking to do his job to keep the Trojans here at 1. He'll start off this inning versus Mike Trout. 1-0 count. Wind and the pitch. Trout floats it to right. Should be playable. Clemente coming in on it, and he makes the grab. 1 up and 1 down. Now 2 outs in the inning for Hank Aaron. Corbin Burns still dealing. The wind, the pitch. Aaron bloops this one. Who's going to grab it? Racing in from first is Paul Hines. He makes a beautiful play right around home plate. That's going to be a 3 up, 3 down inning for Corbin Burns, and give the Cartier Cutthroats a chance to walk this one off to a 3-0 series lead in the bottom half of the 9th. Starting off their 9th inning is Eddie Collins, batting out of the 8-hole. 1-2 count on him as he faces Rocket Roger Clemens. The pitch. Fly ball on the infield, should be playable. Who's going to grab it? Shifting over is Collins. He'll cede to Jackie Robinson, who puts the squeeze on it. That's 1 up and 1 down. Gorgo helping me with hi-hat cymbals is the word I was looking for the component of drums that does that sound I was talking about. And now 1 away. Next hitter is Ivan Rodriguez. We'll get our use out of the matchup analyzer for this one. Ivan Rodriguez, not known for his bat, he's known for his glove and his ability to help pitchers reduce their ERAs. And he is in a matchup here that's not to his favor. Ivan Rodriguez only a 639 OPS. Roger Clemens, you see he does his best work versus right-handed batters. So a tough matchup here for the Cartier battery mate. 0-1 count, the pitch. This one, line drive right center field. That could get down and split the gap, and it will. Pudge around first. He'll have second easy. He pulls in and applies the brakes. It's a 1-out double for Pudge. Representing the winning run in scoring position as the Cartier lineup card flips over, and King Kelly and Paul Hines chomping at the bit. Here's King Kelly. I am guessing we don't have a single at-bat of King Kelly in perfect, and we don't. King Kelly, this is his first postseason, his first instance of him being in perfect league, and has an opportunity to win Game 3. 2-2 count on him. Fans on their feet. Clemens, the pitch. Ground ball up the middle, going to be a tough play. Charging it as a shortstop, he makes the play, he has nowhere to throw it. Lou Boudreau, old shufflefoot, got to it as quick as he could. By the time he picked it up, he thought better than to try to throw out the speedy King Kelly. It's going to be an infield single. Taking third on the play is Pudge. Still represents the winning run, now represents it 90 feet away. 1 away for Paul Hines. Infield now drawn in as King Kelly has stolen second base. It's now second and third 1 away with Hines at the plate. If it's me, I am walking Hines right here. I would rather face Roberto Clemente with corners in, playing for 2 up the middle, a less dangerous hitter than this matchup here. But then you risk walking in the winning run. So it's 2 bad options. We'll see if Clemens comes into Hines here with 1 out in the 9th. The pitch. Little floater, left center field and down! The Cartier Cutthroats have won Game 3 on a Paul Hines walk-off RBI single. Floats it out to left center field as fireworks rain down in Cartier. It is a 3-0 series lead and bedlam in Cartier. Let's check out the box score, a 2-1 pitcher's duel. We did have a home run in this one. Paul Hines making Ori Halson 10,000 perfect points richer. Now, Ori Halson, make sure you DM me your Out of the Park Perfect Team username with the appropriate capitalization. We'll get you those perfect points as quick as possible. But in this one, we have Randy Johnson and Epirixie both doing work. 6 innings for Randy, 5 innings for Epa, both only allowing 1 earned run. And the bullpen's doing a decent job as well. For Wayzata, Willis, and Clemens. For Cartier, Clemens, Spawn, and Burns. Now Clemens gives up that walk-off single in his 3rd inning of work. So let's load up Game 4. The trophy will be in the building for this one. We don't get many sweeps in these Perfect League World Series. But I think we might have a chance of seeing one tonight. We've got a hot Cartier Cutthroats team playing at home and playing with all of Uncle Mo in his corner tonight. All right, back to it. Game 4 here in Cartier. Here in the Cartier Caverns, as they call it, the high BABIP, low power ballpark. And Epirixie on the mound to start this one. He'll face Jackie Robinson to start and a lineup of 8 right-handed batters. Three-one count on Jackie as we get started here tonight. Epirixie 14-7 on the regular season. Check swing for Jackie. Did he go? They appeal down to first. They say no. That'll be a leadoff walk for Jackie Robinson. Wayzata Trojans looking for some early scoring. Now they don't find it in the top half of the first. And now in the bottom half of the first, they've got to play some defense. Their Sandy Koufax on the hill has found immediate trouble as Hines and Clemente aboard, 1 away for Mike Trout, but it's not any Mike Trout. It is fire Mike Trout. And this rally, 1st and 3rd, 1 out, brings the fans to their feet here in Cartier. Hot seat change, says Veggie, and he couldn't be more right. And he might have a vested interest in that being updated. Oh, an overlay change too, says Josh. Man, really falling apart here. I need to have a checklist every time a game is over. Do these 3 things. Cartier up 3-0 in this series. Hot seat ready. Overlay ready. Let's now get to this rally here in the first. 3-1 count. The pitch. Ball 4. Mike Trout works a 5-pitch walk. They are now loaded here in the home half of the first. Exactly what the doctor did not order for the Trojans, who were looking to take this crowd out of it. Now Tris Speaker bats with an opportunity to give the Cutthroats a big lead early in Game 4. 2-2 count on him. Koufax set. Delivers. Swinging a grounder right in front of home. The catcher grabs it, races to home plate, and wins the race with Paul Hines to get the 2nd out. This one was a little topper. Tris Speaker, the topper himself, tops this one right out in front of home plate. Now, Ivan Rodriguez, despite being red in fatigue, pounces out in front of home, grabs it. It was about 7 to 8 feet from home plate. then gauges whether or not he can win the race with Paul Hines to home, assesses that he can, and then gets into a dead sprint. He slides into home just as Paul Hines is sliding into home, and he wins the race. So that is out number 2 in the inning. The Wayzata Trojans able to keep the Cartier Cutthroats off the scoreboard for the time being, and now we have 2 outs in the inning for Nap Lajoie. 1-2 count, the pitch. This one crushed to center field, deep but playable. A great catch from Willie Mays. Got an incredible jump on this one. Pre-pitch, he was shifted and shaded to left center field. This one ends up right of center, but Willie Mays making a 4-star catch on this one. 109 miles an hour off the bat here for Lajoie, but all for naught. So in the end, the Cutthroats strand the bases loaded. They don't score, and will go to the top of the second, tied at 0. Bottom 2, another chance for the Cartier Cutthroats to get on the board. Koufax pitching to Pudge. Pudge lines one to left center field and over the left fielder's head. That'll go for extra bases. George Brett, running the entire way, will score without a throw. And Pudge, if you'd believe it, it's a left field triple for him. An RBI left field triple. 1-0 Cutthroats. King Kelly now steps in. 1-0 count on him, a contact hitter. Infield conceding the run. Fly ball right field, not deep. Clemente is there. Could be a play at the plate. Catch made. Here comes Pudge. He's going to try to score. There's going to be a play at the plate. The tag in time. Roberto Clemente pegs down Ivan Rodriguez at the plate. A 9-2 double play to end the inning. The Cartier Cutthroats do score here in the second, but now for the second inning in a row, walk away with less than what could have been. It is now 1-0 lead heading to the third inning. Now top 4, and we have our first Wayzata Trojans highlight as Mike Trout is aboard and Roberto Clemente stepping in. And Clemente shoots this one to right center field. And that ball's going to go all the way to the wall. Chasing it down is Clemente. He fires it in quickly enough to keep Trout from scoring. It'll be second and third, nobody out, for a cavalcade of righties to follow. Hank Aaron, Willie Mays, Nap Lajoie to bat. Rixey now facing Aaron. 2-2 count on him, the pitch. Fly ball left field, not super deep. Trout is there. He's fire emote Trout. He makes the catch. Tagging from third is Trout. The throw home, not in time. Safe ahead of the tag is Trout. It is now 1-1 here in the fourth inning. We go top 6, another highlight for the Trojans. Rixey still in the game for the Cutthroats. He's pitching to Jackie Robinson to lead off this inning. Wide and the pitch. That's ball 4. Outside, Jackie Robinson works a 6-pitch walk, grinding that one. Next up is Mike Trout. 2-0 count on him, the pitch. Line drive up the middle, base hit. Tris Speaker has it. He'll get it in quickly. 2 aboard, nobody out here in the 6th. 1-2 count now on Clemente. Rixey set, delivers, fly ball center field. In comes Speaker, he should have this one. He makes the grab, no runners advance. 1 away here in the 6th. Up comes Hank Aaron, 2-0 count on him. We've got Veggie 1975 looking for a dinger. Maybe not a better opportunity from a matchup perspective than what we're seeing here. A 2-0 count on Hammer and Hank Aaron versus a left-handed pitcher. Rixey set, delivers. Not a dinger, might not even be a base hit. Ranging to his left is Lajoie, makes the play on a diving stop. Comes up throwing, throws out Aaron at first base. That is the second out of the inning. Advancing to second and third are Trout and Robinson respectively. They will now be there with 2 away for Willie Mays. Willie Mays now batting versus Corbin Burns, the first reliever out of the pen for the Cutthroats. 0-2 count. The pitch. Ground ball to first. Hines has it. He'll take it to the bag himself, and that will end the threat here in the 6th inning. The Wayzata Trojans strand 2, score none. It is now 1-1 as we go to the home half of the 6th. Skip the home half of the 6th, then the road half of the 7th. We go bottom 7 as Archie Vaughn steps in against John Smoltz. 3-1 count on him. John Smoltz, the first reliever out of the Wayzata pen. Wind and the pitch. Line drive up the middle, a base hit. Archie Vaughn turns around a 98-mile-an-hour heater as Smoltz did not want to walk the leadoff man. Instead, it'll be a leadoff single right back through the box. Pudge Rodriguez next man up. 1-0 count on him. The pitch. Fly ball center field should be playable. Willie Mays drifts in. He'll make the grab. Archie Vaughn retreats to first. King Kelly next man up. 1-0 count on him. The pitch. Kelly floats it into no man's land, and that ball's down. A little inside-out flare back behind first, but far enough from the second baseman where Eddie Collins had no play on it. It's a little duck snort single here for King Kelly. Now 2 aboard and 1 away as we are getting late and close in this one. Up comes Paul Hines, 1-2 count on him. The pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. John Smoltz drops a beautiful 12-6 curveball. Gets the swing and a miss here from Hines and an all-important second out of this inning. Now 2 away for Clemente. Last hope for the Cutthroats in this rally. The pitch. Line drive to third should be playable. Picks it is Jackie. He throws on over to second in time. That will end the inning as John Smoltz reached back for 102 on that one. Gets the third out of the inning and gets us into the 8th inning, still tied at 1. Top 8 now. Warren Spahn into this game. He has 1 out and he's pitching to new Jackie Robinson. The franchise heroes, Jackie. The pitch. This one hit well into the right center field gap. That ball could get down. It will, and it will go to the wall. Jackie on his way to second. He'll slide in there with a 1-out double, giving Wayzata a scoring threat here late in Game 4. 3-0 count now on Trout. Spahn in trouble. The pitch. Trout taking all the way, taking ball 4. You have to wonder how much longer Spahn's going to be in this game. He's had a great evening tonight, but he's facing a lineup of righties, and he is struggling with his command, and we have our answer. Out goes Spahn, in comes Seaver, and he'll do so against Clemente here. 1-2 count. Fans on their feet looking for the punch out. The pitch. Hit well to center field. Going back is Speaker. He'll make the grab. Tagging on the play, second to third is Jackie. But that's a big second out in this inning for the Cutthroats. Now the last hope for the Trojans is Hank Aaron batting versus Tom Seaver. We'll get the matchup analyzer ready to help us out with this one. Hank Aaron versus Wright. Tom Seaver versus Wright as well. Advantage to the pitcher on this one. 2-1 count. Comes set. Delivers, and this one is rifled to center field. A diving catch! A diving catch! Tress Speaker lays out in center field, makes an incredible play, and saves at least a run for Cartier. Fans on their feet, saluting an incredible play as Triscott lays out to save one here in the 8th. Inning over. The Trojans frustrated. Hank Aaron spiking his helmet on the turf as he was sure that he just untied this one here in Cartier. It is all for naught. We'll head to the bottom half. Still tied at 1. Leading off this home half of the 8th is Mike Trout, but it is not any Mike Trout. No, look at the lineup card. It's fire. Mike Trout, and that's just what Cartier is looking for here. to spur something in the realm of scoring runs. They'll get a leadoff walk. John Smoltz wanted this call. It was on the inner half. Our K-Zone says it just missed, but John Smoltz looking for it, does not get it, and instead it's a grinded out 6-pitch walk for Mike Trout, and an opportunity for the Cutthroats to take the lead here in the home half of the 8th. Next up is Tris Speaker. Now, how often do you see a guy make an incredible play defensively and then come up as the first or second hitter the following inning and answer that with a big hit? That's exactly what Speaker will be looking to do here, and he's ahead in the count 2-1. The pitch. This ball swung at, hit out to center field. Willie Mays drifts over. He'll make the grab. Having to retreat to first is Trout. That's one away. Penguin City. You see me. You see right through me, Penguin. Now one away for Nap Lajoie. 0-1 count. The pitch. Fly ball center field. Another playable one here for Mays. He'll drift in. Make the catch there for out number 2. And now 2 away in an inning that started off so favorably. And they end up not scoring in the home half of the 8th. We'll go top 9. Seaver now pitching to Mays. Full count here as the Trojans look to untie it. Wide and the pitch. Ball 4. Tom Seaver missing with the payoff pitch here. Goes to the sinker. And Willie Mays with a great job of laying off this one out of the zone. He has earned a leadoff walk. Uh-oh. Hope CF Genesis still in the chat here for this one. We have got a pinch hit opportunity here. Have you met Ted? It's Ted Williams, and he is stepping up here in a big moment. Now, when the big discussion was going on in the Discord this week about if Ted is good or if Ted is bad, I said, let the Perfect League World Series decide. Now, we've had a couple of Ted highlights. He's yet to really come up with a big hit, but I can't think of a bigger opportunity than the YZ of Ted batting with the game tied in the 9th inning while his team is trailing 3-0. Can he find a way to get on base versus Tom Seaver? Full or 2-2 count here. Seaver comes set, delivers. Line drive up the middle, a base hit. A base hit. Going first to third is Mays. He will make it safely. And now the Trojans have runners at the corners with nobody out on the big pinch hit single from Ted Williams. Up next is Pudge Rodriguez. A very tired Pudge Rodriguez will try to keep the bat on his shoulder here. He's got a 3-0 count. Infield drawn in, the pitch. Swinging on 3-0 is Pudge, and he splits the gap in right center field. Willie Mays scores. Ted Williams hustling. He gets to third. He'll stop there. It's an RBI double for tired Pudge Rodriguez, untying this one and giving the Trojans every opportunity to stack up some more runs here in the 9th. It is 2-1 as Eddie Collins steps in. The pitch to Collins. Collins is going to split the gap as well. This will score 2 more. It'll make it a 4-1 ball game. Eddie Collins, running like a thoroughbred, has a double here. It is 4-1 Trojans. Make it 5-1, and the Trojans now 1 out away from officially placing this one into the W column. They send in their John Smoltz, looking to retire Ivan Rodriguez to put the exclamation point on this one. Wide and the pitch. Ground ball on out to short. Picks it, throws it, and that will do it. Road fireworks for the Trojans as they come into Cartier for Game 4 and pick up a 5-1 victory. A game that was a lot closer than the scoreboard would indicate, but able to steal some runs late and pad their lead and pick up that ever-important first W in the World Series. So let's officially give this game to Wyzetta. 0 dingers for Veggie 1975. Thanks for playing. Let's go to Slippy Foots here for Game 5. It's all these home run nerfed ballparks. Someone, a man of the people, would have a homer maxed ballpark. Maybe we'll see some of those. All right, let's load up our Game 5 sim. Should be sitting here waiting for us. Now, if you're Cartier, you led 3-0 in the series. You didn't win Game 4. You do not want to have to get on a plane and head back for Game 6. That's the last thing you want. All right, so we've got our display good. We've got our hot seat good. And now we need to start this one off. So if you're the Cartier Cutthroats, you've got the trophy in the building. You're looking to secure that second Perfect League World Series win. And you've got your ace on the mound. Sandy Koufax. No one you trust more than him out on that hill right now. He'll face a lineup of 8 righties. Suboptimal. But he's Sandy Koufax. And he is one of the top 2 pitchers that we've seen in Perfect League data this week. King Kelly at catcher, too. Great catch by Hero Driver. We'll get this game started as Sandy Koufax pitches to Jackie Robinson. Wind and the pitch. Little flare to right field. Little can of corn. Shifting over is Clemente. He puts a squeeze on it, and it's 1 up and 1 down. This game is underway. Top 2, Trojans showing a little rally here. 2 aboard, nobody out for Johnny Bench as he steps in. 0-1 count on him. Koufax delivers. Fly ball center field. Shifting over is Hines. He's under it. Makes the grab. Tagging on the play is Mays. He's just bluffing a move. He won't go. And it's 1 away. Next up, Lou Boudreau. Double play candidate. Wind and the pitch. Boudreau line drive up the middle. Could be 2. To second, 1 to first. Double play. That'll end the top half of the second. Cartier Cutthroats 1. Wyzetta Trojans 0. We go top 4 now. Trojans playing from behind as Clemente steps in. 2-1 count on Clemente. The pitch. And this ball is belted. Deep center field and gone. An absolute bomb from Roberto Clemente ties this game up. 424 feet beyond the batter's eye in center field. A statement shot from Clemente as he hit every bit of this 92-mile-an-hour elevated fastball that Koufax was trying to keep high in the zone. Got too much plate, and Clemente did not miss it. It's 1-1. 10,000 perfect points for Slippy Foots. Still top 4. Up comes Johnny Bench. We've already seen one of his highlights. Did not end well. We'll see if he can do better this time around. The pitch. Up the middle, a base hit. Johnny Bench sends it through the box. That's going to be a single. Going first to third on the play is an aggressive Hank Aaron. We've seen 2 aggressive base running plays from him in this World Series. He's able to successfully go first to third on this one, which puts Lou Boudreau in an opportunity here to give the Trojans the lead. Full count. Fans here in Cartier on their feet. The pitch. Strike 3 called. Strike 3 called. Sandy Koufax goes to the off speed. Catches Boudreau guessing. Will send him back to the dugout. Searching for answers, and that's going to end this 4th inning. 2 runners will be stranded and will be tied as we head to the home half. Here in the home half, we've got Trout aboard and Speaker at the plate. 1-2 count on Triss. The pitch. Line drive, base hit, right field. Trout, a great jump on this one. He's going to try for third. The throw, not in time. Trout goes first to third. Speaker turns around a very difficult 97-mile-an-hour heater from the big unit, and the Cutthroats in business here in the fourth. Next up, Jackie Robinson. One out to him. A pitch out. Going down is Speaker, and he will be thrown out on the play. Not sure if the Trojans are stealing signs or how they knew that was going to happen, but a beautiful pitch out, 97 miles an hour straight to the glove of Johnny Bench, standing in the left-handed batter's box. He catches it, fires it down to second. They have Speaker dead to rights. Frozen at third is Mike Trout. It's the second out of the inning, as Speaker is retired here. Now 3-0 count on Jackie with 2 away. The pitch. Taking all the way is Jackie. He earns his walk. And now it's first and third again as George Brett steps in. But we have a wild pitch. A wild pitch in Cartier. Scoring from third is Trout. Heading to second is Jackie. It is now a 2-1 ball game in favor of the Cartier Cutthroats, as George Brett steps in, 2-2 count. The pitch. Line drive. Base hit, right field. Around third is Jackie. He's going to try to score. The throw. Not in time. 3-1 Cartier. We go bottom five. Still that same score, 3-1 Cartier, as King Kelly steps in versus Randy Johnson. 1-0 count on him. The wind, the pitch. And he gets into this one. Deep to right field. Clemente back at the track, at the wall. That ball is out of here. 10,000 perfect points for Slippy Foots. And a 4-1 lead for the Cutthroats. King Kelly with his first Perfect League World Series home run. We go bottom six. The Cutthroats already leading by 4, already with 11 hits in this game, looking to add to it. They have King Kelly aboard at second base in scoring position. 2 outs as Paul Hines steps in versus Bob Gibson. 1-1 count. The pitch, and this ball is tattooed. You can't forget about it. Deep into the Cartier evening. 400 million feet off the bat of Paul Hines. Make it 7-1. An absolute bomb. 422 feet. They underestimate here in Cartier, as Paul Hines sends this one on out of the stadium. What an absolute shot. And look at this. We have time warped. We have time warped in the best way possible for the Cartier Cutthroats. We have time warped all the way to the top of the 9th inning. There are 2 outs. The Cartiers nursing a very comfortable 5-run lead. And the Cartier Cutthroats 1 out away from securing their second Perfect League World Series title, a feat only accomplished by a select few. Detroit Fury, Diamond City Taurus, and if Roger Clemens is able to retire, Eddie Collins here. You can add the Cartier Cutthroats of E6 to that list. The wind. The pitch. Ground ball to third. Fielded. Throw to first. In time. The Cartier Cutthroats are your 2052 Perfect League World Series champions. Celebrated, Cartier. You've earned it. Rounds of applause, fireworks, and the crowd loving every minute of this one. As we look at the box score, we see the Cartier Cutthroats had a couple runs scored in the 4th, 5th, and 6th innings that put this one to bed, as their Sandy Koufax did a great job on the hill, going 5 innings, only allowing 1 earned run, and the bullpen tandem of Roy Halladay and Roger Clemens did the rest, with Clemens doing most of the heavy lifting. As you can see from the ERA in the Cartier box score here, Koufax, Halladay, and Clemens all with postseasons under 2 ERA, helping to get the job done. For YZ, Randy Johnson didn't have his A game today, and Bob Gibson certainly made things worse as he came in, surrendering 5 hits, only retiring 4 batters in this one. By the time Maddox and his 20 ERA came in, it was all over but the shouting. So let's update our display. As Dish shared in the chat moments ago, he is not streaming tonight, so I will not be rating you guys over there. Let's check out who won the World Series MVP tonight. We have Mike Trout. Mike Trout of the Cartier Cutthroats takes home MVP honors. As we see from the box score, 9 of 17 in the series, batting .529, including a couple long ones. 3 ribbies in the process as well. A 5-game series. The Cartier Cutthroats coming out on top. Romana Day asking if we're looking at player data, and I think we should. So we're going to extend a little bit further tonight because we didn't really get a chance to touch the data. So let's look at it now. So let me get us all set up so that the data isn't messy, and we can take a peek at it. But congratulations to the Cartier Cutthroats, a very deserving 2-time champion. All right, let's look at data. So I was very surprised when I saw who our quote-unquote winner of the week was from a bat perspective when I saw Hank Aaron. But as I dug into the numbers and I thought about who's on the mound, who is gobbling up the innings, it started to make more and more sense. So we're seeing more and more left-handed pitchers for the first time ever, as I shared at the beginning of this stream. We had a majority of innings pitched by left-handed pitchers this week, so it's not crazy that Hank Aaron comes out as the best hitter. 14.59 batting runs per 600 plate appearances, above league average, beating out Speaker and Hornsby by a good margin here, crushing Tris Speaker. Speaker only at 10.84, certainly not bad by any stretch, but Speaker, a left-handed batter, having to face a lot of left-handed pitchers, and that therefore depressing his overall production. We'll go position by position as we normally do and check out who's hitting what. We'll start with catcher, and from a bat perspective, we don't really have a catcher who can hit. Now, maybe King Kelly, if he proves to be able to be worthy of being placed behind home plate, which we saw a little bit of in this series here tonight, he could change that, but our best hitting catcher this week was Johnny Bench. 521 plate appearances at a -6 batting runs, which from a catcher perspective, that's pretty favorable, as everyone else is double digits bad. Gary Carter, Ivan Rodriguez at -12, Mauer -19, Bill Dickey -19 as well. So Bill Dickey is a bat that was a league average batter better versus right-handed pitching for a very long time. I'm guessing that is no longer the case, and my suspicion is correct here. Bill Dickey showing up as -10 on the batting runs versus right-hand pitching. So Mauer, our best hitter, at least in this week's data, versus right. Dickey second. And then Ivan Rodriguez only -16.5 is actually really great. So those who remember Ivan Rodriguez from PT21, he was horrendous versus both sides. He couldn't hit a thing versus right. He couldn't hit a thing versus left. If you got anything from Pudge, you were happy. This year, he's statted a bit more favorably. Look at Sparrow, not even having him on the roster. What the heck? Here we go. As you can see here, Ivan Rodriguez is going to struggle a little bit from a contact perspective in terms of making contact with the ball. He's not going to walk a ton, but when he does hit it, good things can happen. You've got a nice BABIP formation here. You've got a little power, a little gap. So Ivan Rodriguez, not an absolute offensive black hole for you. We'll move on up to first base, and no surprise here, king first baseman versus right, still Roger Connor, still nobody close. We have those rocking Gehrig behind him to 1,300 plate appearances. We have Rod Carew behind Gehrig there at 4.07. Now, Gehrig and Carew couldn't be more different in terms of the production that you're getting from them. So we've got Gehrig here. Let's get Carew. We'll put them side by side to show you what I'm talking about. So we're really just isolating, and maybe it's helpful if I snip it so we don't get distracted by other stuff. So we're really just looking at the contact and the hitting profiles versus right here. And so both of them have high contact. Both of them have high enough avoid K. But whereas Gehrig is very homer happy, he's got a very strong eye generating walks. Carew has very low power, which is going to help his BABIP. He's got very low I, which is going to put his BABIP into play even more frequently there, both of them with strong gap. So you see Gehrig edging out Carew here, 5.93 to 4.07. I would say if you're between the two, do it based on what your build really needs. Do you need that power bat? Is your stadium tuned to allow that power bat to be successful? Are you going with a BABIP build where someone like Carew is going to be in a position to help you be more successful? As we toggle to versus left here, Jackie Robinson standing out here at 17.09 ahead of Hank Aaron and Jimmy Fox. But look at the sample sizes on all of these guys. We don't really have a dominant logical platoon versus left at first base. And that's why we don't see a 5,000, 10,000 plate appearance sample of any one of these guys. The one universal truth we know is that Connor versus left is bad. And there's a lot of other options to consider. We move on over to second base. So second base was a meta that got upended big time. We were used to Joe Morgan, Jackie Robinson, and then up comes Hornsby, Collins, and Lajoie in the same drop. So as far as who is coming up with hits so far, we have Rogers Hornsby hitting a ton versus right, which doesn't make a ton of sense to me. I look at the sample size here and start to question how sustainable any of this is. I don't expect this 102 contact, 121 power, 88 avoid K versus right to continue turning in positive performance data here. And honestly, I'm surprised by this Eddie Collins being as low as it is. What about this Eddie Collins profile here versus right should not produce more than a 2.36. So something that bears watching going forward. We have Lajoie and Jackie both hemorrhaging some production here versus right. As we toggle on over to versus left, we see Hornsby jump up even further at 13.1. We see Jackie jump up as well, almost getting to league average. Eddie Collins, who's on my screen on the left side here, that versus left profile is excellent. So he is below league average, but for an everyday player, or at least an everyday player for me, who is stealing bases, who's playing great defense, that is a bat production profile that I can live with. We'll go on over to third base. We've got Arky Vaughan leading third base versus right. George Brett, that's another production profile that I would have expected to be better than 1.09. I mean, George Brett, unless you squint, at first blush, you think that looks very similar to Connor, and Connor crushes righties. Well, Brett is missing some rating in certain areas, such as contacts, some avoid K, some I, that would help him close that gap there. So far, it has not been a very good ride for him versus right, 1.09. As we look at versus left, no one producing here. Mike Schmidt, our best, at negative 7.63. George Brett, negative 7.69. Arky Vaughan, negative 37. We check out shortstop. So shortstop, we don't really have anyone hitting versus right anymore. So Arky Vaughan was like a 10-plus bat R guy for a very long time, and that is not the case anymore. Power creep has come and grabbed him. He is now a league average bat versus right. Luke Appling underwater, Lou Boudreau underwater, Bancroft, Dahlin, Tulowitzki, Ripken, everyone underwater there at shortstop, which isn't too surprising. As we look at versus left, we have Boudreau as a standout option here, 10.86. well ahead of everyone else there, including the new Tulo card at -14. Now, Boudreaux is going to have worse defense and worse base running than just about every option you see on the screen here. So you have to put into context what that additional offensive production is worth. We go on out to left field. So versus left, we have Billy Hamilton, who some questioned whether he would survive the new drop of cards, and he's survived it well. So that versus right profile, surviving on a very high contact, very high avoid, very high eye to go with pretty substantive gap power as well, turning in big results in left field versus right. Ted Williams right behind him. So Ted Williams, of much topic of conversation, 14.3 this week versus right. And then we have Trout as a same side right-handed hitter, doing well at 2.31. Jackie Robinson, Pete Rose, Al Simmons on down. Those guys are going to pop more in the versus left toggle. So Al Simmons crushing versus left at 16.48. Jackie doing well. Trout doing well as well. We go to the other corner. So right field. Tony Gwynn popping here at 14.36. No surprise there. Falling off entirely from a sample size perspective is Ichiro. I actually ran Ichiro this week in DLL in my build that picked up 111 wins. Looks like he has been entirely phased out of Perfect League, as my minimum threshold here is 400 plate appearances, and he was not able to breach that in right field. As we toggle to versus left, Hank Aaron jumps off the page here, 23.95, our number one hitter of the week. So no surprise that Hank Aaron really crushing left-handed pitching. Clemente hitting it well, just not hitting it nearly as well. Clemente the better defender of the two, of course. We go to center field. So versus right and center field, Speaker and Hamilton lead the way. Paul Hines and Mike Trout, more defensive options. Both right around league average production there. Kurt Welch, surprisingly at league average production as well at -1. I would expect him to be at slightly lower than that in bigger sample size. Ken Griffey versus right is actually quite bad at -11. Willie Mays versus right is extremely bad at -19. But when we toggle to versus left, Willie Mays goes from the bottom to the top. 10.82 for Mays. Speaker as a same side left on left, 7.2, very strong. We still see some remnants of Joe DiMaggio floating around here. And then we have Hines and Welch actually going down. So Hines and Welch actually being worse versus left than they were versus right this week. So those are your hitters. We'll get a quick glimpse at the pitchers before we close things up tonight. Here are your pitchers for the week. So Sandy Koufax leading the way at 3.28 on the ERA. You have Greg Maddux at 3.33. Randy Johnson, 3.8. So really, it's Koufax and Maddox's world. The rest of us are just living in it. But Johnson, Spawn, and Rixey doing a pretty good job as well. Of the right-handed arms, Halladay slightly outperforming Clemens, with Brandon Webb sandwiched in the middle of them in short sample. So glad we were able to jump into some of that data. I think that this was the most interesting week of data. I encourage you guys all to keep an eye out for additional things that I'll be posting in my Discord and in the stats and data for the main Discord, as we'll continue to see the meta evolve from here. So with that, we're going to go ahead and wrap things up. Again, no Dishnet tonight. So this is me bidding you guys adieu until next week, when we will crown a 2053 World Series winner. Maybe it could be you. So again, everyone on the screen here that was part of the playoffs this week will be back in the league next week, and they will be tangling with the 24 winners of Diamond Leagues. Most notably, Maxfire 5 coming on up from DLL, riding the wave of momentum from his PTMS win of Ozzie Smith into Perfect, looking to wreak some havoc. So this has been DRC, and this has been the Perfect League World Series broadcast. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for all of the support, and I will see you guys next week.